eventually it'll come. It's just going to take some
Absolutely.
chance.
Yes. How are you all? Thank you so much for being here with us. We were getting my trick-or-treating update from the Dairy household.
Tough sledding, but you know what? It was a great time.
Oh my goodness. Hey, welcome to a new month. My goodness, already in November. Thank you for joining us for KARE 11 News at Noon. We are now just 4 days out from the election. So we're bringing you the latest numbers out of Minnesota as you finalize your plans. Plus, we're preparing for a big sports weekend, and we got the latest on an Amber Alert that has now been canceled, but probably got your attention earlier. But first, let's get a look at our weather.
You said it right. It's a change of month. It's a change in scenery for a lot of us. And guess what? Temperatures are chilly outside. For many of us, it was the coldest morning of the season so far, and that snow still kind of lingering, at least on the ground. Nothing falling from the sky, at least right now. Around our neck of the woods, temperatures ranging from the upper 30s to lower 40s right now, and temps are only going to stay in the mid to upper 40s today. So a little melting taking place. And I want to show you this. There's a weak little system that's working its way across the eastern Dakotas right now. Yes, it is dropping some light snowfall out there, but this is a pretty moisture-starved system. Areas in western Minnesota might see a little brief rain-snow mix, but little, if anything, is forecast to fall. And by the time that thing gets here, it looks like it's going to be just mainly increase in clouds. So we'll call it a mix of clouds and sunshine today. Right now, we are on the sunny side. The wind is fairly light. Overall, it's pretty comfortable outside. In your hour-by-hour forecast, you can see those clouds increasing through the second half of the day. That'll keep our temperatures in the mid-40s, at least for today. A few showers in western Minnesota today, but mostly dry for the rest of us as we head into the next couple of days. But it looks a little wet as we head into both Sunday into Monday. We'll talk about another rainy stretch of weather coming up. Alexis?
Ben, thank you. Taking a look at Xcel Energy's outage map, we've been watching the number of outages drop throughout the morning. Right now, there are just over 50 outages reported in the metro, and we can see that crews are working to fix those issues. We also want to keep you updated on an Amber Alert that went out over the phones early this morning. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension has now canceled that alert, saying a pregnant woman and her 4 children are now safe. Just before 2 a.m., Crow Wing County deputies were called to reports of a shooting in Maple Grove Township. One man was found dead, and investigators learned 35-year-old suspect had forced a woman and her kids to leave with him. They were all later spotted driving, and the man was arrested. Minneapolis police are planning to release more information about a triple shooting that happened overnight in Dinkytown. It happened around 2:15 at the intersection of 4th Street and 13th Avenue. When our crews arrived, police were focused on a section of 13th Avenue right in front of the Mobile University police camera trailer. Right now, no word on a suspect or the condition of those victims. Well, in the next few hours, a major construction project in Elk River is set to come to an end. Michelle Beck has the latest on the plans for 169.
Finally, the roads here in Elk River have been closed for 3 years or 3 construction seasons. As you can see right under 169 and Main Street construction, the signs of it are still here. The crews are still here this morning. The vehicles as well as the signs are all here. But now MnDOT tells me you can see it fully back open tonight, possibly tomorrow if weather is an issue. The 3-mile project on Highway 169 got to work on bridges, freeway lanes, side roads, and sidewalk connections. As busy as the area was, the city's public works director says it was also dangerous, at times deadly, for drivers and pedestrians. He says to make things safer, it was important to get rid of the stops on the highway and separate the roads, putting the mainline highway over Main Street and local traffic beneath the bridge.
I think it was so long in coming. Everybody was desiring it to be completed. That they had some patience for it, and certainly 3 years of continued patience. We've appreciated that. The project team has appreciated that.
And when this 169 and Main Street interchange does open back up, MnDOT says you'll still be able to see crews around. They'll be working on projects off the road and just wrapping up here. In Elk River, Michelle Beck, KARE 11 News.
Well, today kicks off the last weekend for Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Trump to make their final arguments to voters. But millions of Americans have already cast their ballots early. Audrey Russo breaks down the latest numbers.
It's hard to believe we're just 4 days out from Election Day. Now, Minnesota has ranked #1 for voter turnout in 4 of the last 5 presidential elections. And we're off to a good start this year, too. More than 60 million ballots have already been cast nationwide, with more than 919,000 of those coming from Minnesota. But once all the votes are in on election night, how soon will we know the winner? Well, in 2020, it took 4 days for NBC to call the race. We spoke to John Lipinski, the network's director of elections, about this time around, and he says that it's all going to come down to how close the vote is in some of those swing states like Pennsylvania and Wisconsin.
They count most of their vote up on election night, or at least by the next day. And so if there's a spread of a point or maybe 2 points, we're definitely be able to put in check marks and we could know who's won the presidency. Alternatively, if some of these key battleground states are tied, we may be in for a repeat of 2020 where it takes days, if not a week, to actually call the presidency.
Now, Lipinski also noted that some states have invested in more workers and resources to count the votes faster. Other states have changed their rules to allow absentee ballots to be processed earlier, all things that could lead to a quicker result than 4 years ago. Back to you.
Well, in these last few days, the campaign trail looks awfully similar for both candidates. Today, former President Trump will hold rallies in Michigan and Milwaukee, and Vice President Harris will plan to be in Milwaukee for a dueling event. It comes after they crossed paths out west in the last 24 hours, with both holding visits in Arizona and Nevada. Make sure that you join us here on KARE 11 for live coverage on election night from here in Minnesota and across the country. We'll be streaming all night starting at 5:30 p.m. on KARE 11 Plus with live reports, results, and expert analysis. You can download KARE 11 Plus for free on several platforms, including Amazon, Fire TV, Roku, and Apple TV. Well, after decades of protests, a plan to shut down the controversial Hennepin Energy Recovery Center is moving forward. In the last 24 hours, the Minneapolis City Council voted unanimously on a resolution to support the permanent closure of the trash incinerator. By the end of 2027, the rest of the facility would close by 2033. The council argues HERC must be closed to comply with the city's zero waste policy. The incinerator burns 365,000 tons of garbage per year from Minneapolis and its surrounding suburbs. It also powers more than 25,000 homes and half the buildings in downtown Minneapolis. Well, it was a really busy day for the council. It also landed on a big decision regarding cannabis businesses. Here's what we know.
I'm Kaya Edwards. Minneapolis has some new rules for where cannabis businesses can be located. Council decided dispensaries can be near one another without any set distance required between them. We're told this is to encourage healthy competition and avoid existing out-of-state corporations from taking over an area where startups may also want to sell. That said, there will be buffer zones between cannabis retailers and schools. Council considered 500 feet, but lowered to 300. That's the same distance liquor stores keep from schools now.
And following our first snowfall of the season, we want to make sure that you know the snow emergency parking rules in Minneapolis. They go into effect so plows can clear the streets quickly. Things are split up into 3 days. On day 1, parking rules are in effect from 9 p.m. to 8 the next morning. On that day, don't park on either side of the streets that are snow emergency routes. Those streets have red and white snow emergency route signs and blue street name signs like Lake Street. On day 2, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., don't park on the even numbered side of the streets that are not snow emergency routes. And finally, on day 3, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., don't park on the odd numbered side of the streets that aren't snow emergency routes.
Another thing that we had tried in previous years and will probably happen again this year is that we have snow oases, basically they're called. They're parking areas, larger parking areas in congested neighborhoods where folks can park on a surface lot or a municipal ramp or something like that.
Minneapolis city leaders tell us if you don't move your car, a ticket is about $45, and if you get towed, it might be almost $140 to get your car back. Minnesota